Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Champagne Wives podcast. I'm your host, Kelly.
And I'm your co-host, Nicole. Hey, gals.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Back in the saddle?
Back in the saddle.
Like in the studio, not even like kind of saddle.
After our episode with Crew Season, we are back at the studio to officially kick off Season 5.
Season 5. So welcome back. Hi to the new followers. Welcome back to the old followers.
Hey, new followers.
Yeah, last time we checked, not that I follow the analytics or anything.
She does.
But last time I checked, we were like 13.2K followers. So
these new wave of followers are very active. I feel like they're very engaged. They talk. They express themselves. They say what's on their minds. I really like this new wave. I mean, I love all of y'all, but this new wave hits different.
You all are engaged. You care about the content. You care about the topics. You all hopefully are finding love in the comments because the way y'all tag each other and add each other.
The tag. Child, the tag.
It's quite crazy. I can't do it, but I'm hopeful that y'all are building relationships and hopefully finding love in a comment section.
Yes.
Yeah. So how'd y'all like that Crew Season episode? I loved it personally.
I loved it too. It was like, 3 hours of conversation, like 3 straight hours. Yes. There were no breaks. There were no intermissions.
I did take a break though.
Bathroom breaks. Nicole took a forced bathroom break, but there was just no time for no gaps, no breaks. And even when she was gone, the conversation still continued on. So it was just 3 hours of really great raw conversation.
It was.
And so again, we want to say thank you to the Crew Season guys. We really appreciate Trill and
OT.
What? You said what?
OT.
Yes, OT. Trill and OT.
Spanish Poppy.
Right, Spanish Poppy. We appreciate you guys for pulling up as usual and just engaging us with really great conversations and dropping golden nuggets.
Yeah, just a solid group of men, solid group of individuals. So can't say enough great things about them. So thanks again.
Yes.
And then here we are to launch all the topics that we're going to talk about this season. Relationships, but not just like romantic relationships, but relationships with self, relationships with friends. So really excited to talk about that. Of course, we're in HR, so we're going to talk about careers. And we're still really trying to finalize the entire, I would say, episode listing, but got a lot of juicy topics to talk about, that's for sure.
Juicy in a good way.
Yeah.
A diverse variety of topics and, things that we want to discuss. And then again, just a lot of things that, Nicole and I are working on in the future outside of the podcast. So still grinding, still hustling, still bringing you all the conversations and really trying to figure out ways to engage with our listeners and bring just really relevant and great content.
Yes. So a lot has happened in between seasons. And it's weird because we haven't had our little small talk, our banter. We cut at the end of April, and here we are mid-July. And a lot's happened.
So much has happened.
So much has happened. In the world, and then even just socially in our personal lives, a lot has just happened. So
I know.
Some real quick fun things we could talk about, Essence. I thought that was absolutely amazing. So
that was your first time at Essence.
My first time.
So just give just a quick rundown on your thoughts, your experience.
Yeah.
Did you have fun?
Had a great time. Love New Orleans. Was really great to see New Orleans from a local's perspective versus doing the touristy thing. My favorite part, hands down, was the concert. The Sunday concert was amazing. Wayne was there. WizKid was there. He brought out Thames. Meg was there. They did a 50 years of hip hop compilation. Money Long was there. There were a lot of great, fantastic artists and talented artists that were there. So I just loved the concert. I really did. And then, obviously the libations afterwards were fun.
Yeah,
Club Quarantine was really cool too.
Yeah. Oh, Club Quarantine was really fun.
Yeah, it was. Club, I didn't know.
I wasn't expecting that level of turn up.
Me either.
That's the best though. The best times I always have is just when I'm not expecting it.
Yes, same.
And when I'm planning and I'm just ready and just planned everything down to the T, just expecting to have a good time, that's when it's just like whack. But when you just kind of go with the flow, don't really know what to expect, like that's when I have the absolute best time. And that's what Club Quarantine was on that Sunday night.
Yeah, it was... I thought we were just going to a giant hall and like the people were going to fill it and a DJ was going to play. And it probably wasn't until halfway through the night that I realized that it was D-Nice who was DJ.
Nicole don't know anybody.
I don't. Like
Nicole does not know any like famous people. She doesn't know anybody. Like
I don't.
She does. She's like, I'm like, Nicole, that's so and so. She's like, oh, okay. I'm like, how do you not know who this is? I was like,
well, he's following our YouTube channel and he follows us on Instagram now. I don't know who he is. Yeah, but we had Estelle come out. We had Baby Sham come out. We had Wyclef come out. There were a lot of artists. Missy was in the building. Tweet was in the building. It was really nice.
It was fun.
Really, really fun. Yeah. So Essence for me was the highlight for the in-between season.
Would you go back?
I would go back. Yeah. And I would actually go back and do some of the conventions because I really think that there's the educational component that probably gets a little overlooked just because New Orleans is such an amazing city when it comes to food and culture. But yeah, I'd want to go and go to one of the actual kind of sessions that they have.
Yeah. The convention is really nice. The vice president was there this year, Kamala Harris. So that would have been really nice to go and like listen to her speak on the panel. So yeah, those are usually pretty nice. And then also we did the Veuve Classic in New York.
That's right. That was really fun, too.
That was
really fun. I love New York. We love New York. We had a good time.
We had a good time.
The weather left a little bit to be desired. And it was like right before the fires. But weather was but vibes were immaculate. New York City is just
always a vibe.
City. So vibey.
I will say, though, like, let's give some pointers from the Veuve Classic because this was our first time going and we learned a lot. It was just like a trial and error, I guess.
It was.
I feel like attendance for us this go round. But if you ever find yourself in New York for the Veuve Classic, please make sure that you bring some flats and a bag. Like just like an extra tote bag to like carry anything additional. Just carry things like shoes and just like you're going to leave with a lot of stuff like champagne or like totes, glasses, things of that nature. Maybe food, a food box. So just bring an extra tote so that you can have some help with carrying all the shit that you're going to get.
And it doesn't matter whether you do Rosé Garden or you do the picnic area or VIP. Maybe VIP, they give you something to bring your accoutrements back with. But if you're not in VIP, absolutely make sure you bring a bag. I cannot underscore that. And the flats, because...
what was that, 1.5 mile hike?
So we did our homework, but yeah, like I don't think we realized
we were very ignorant.
I just don't think we realized that there was really a 1.5 mile walk. And then we were lucky to get a pedicab. And
we did get it all
work out for us.
But the pedicab, we had to be like, hey, from like, what? 50 feet, 100 feet away, like screaming.
And then we got in a fight on the way back because we like hijacked some woman's golf cart with her husband and she was talking about this date night.
I don't even think that was her husband, child. That might have just been like...
some liaison.
Exactly. But anywho, so yeah, I did that as well during our downtime and that was really cool.
Yeah. So we're back. Little champagne, just a little bit. Little Veuve to kind of just get us comfortable back in the seats. But we figured since we talked about so many heavy topics in the last 4 episodes that you guys have been watching, and thanks for running those numbers up. Appreciate it. We thought we'd be a little lighter and dedicate this episode to just like current events, a more elevated version of what's poppin', if you will. Right, for the audience. And if you're new here, what's poppin' is like the last probably 10 minutes of the conversation that we just kind of talk about what's going on in pop culture, what's going on that is of interest to us. So figured we'd talk about a couple of things here. She brought 2 things to the altar, depending on how much time we have. I have 2 things that I'll bring to the altar. But yeah.
It's like a more prolonged version of what's poppin'. So... a lot has happened, and things were just happening in social media, like in the world, back to back to back, like right after we ended the season. Right. And we were like, damn, we got to write that down because we have to talk about it. It was just so in line with like our brands and the things that we talk about. But then, as time passes, like everything just kind of dies down. So changes. A lot, the relevance changes. So, a lot of things that we were going to bring to the altar just, first of all, didn't make sense to. And then two, more shit has happened since then. Like, I feel like people's lives are a mess. Like, there's always content being provided for people to talk about, y'all. So, anyway, so I'll get into one of mine. So, the first one is, as you all may or may not be aware of, I celebrated my 11-year wedding anniversary to my husband in July. Cheers on the 7th. That. Cheers to 11 years.
Cheers to 11 years.
So he and I decided to go to Vegas for the Usher residency because I absolutely love Usher, and I wanted to go to this residence since it was announced that he was going to be in Vegas. So it was like perfect time to go. He had a show actually on the night of our anniversary, which was the 7th. So we got some really great tickets, some really great seats, and decided to go to the show, which was amazing. I love Usher. The show was amazing. I mean, 10 out of 10. The best show ever. But my girl KeKe...
better than Beyonce?
I haven't been to Renaissance yet, child.
But I mean, you've been to On the Run, you've been to other shows.
In the past, better than Beyonce.
Wow.
Better than the Beyonce shows that I have been to personally.
Okay.
Now this may be subject to change, child, because listen.
Because the way she's popping off on Renaissance.
Every time I go to a concert, I think it's the best concert ever. Like I went to a Marsha Ambrosia concert a few years ago, and I thought that was the best concert ever. Like I just love a good concert. Right. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like good singing, good music, good vibes. I just love a good concert. So anyway, Usher's concert, amazing. Everything that I thought it would be, then some. So our girl KeKe got caught up at the Usher show, though. As you all know, whenever you're at the concert, there are a lot of celebrities in the audience. So as to when I was there, and KeKe, who was there probably a week before I was there. So KeKe, as you all know, just had a baby. She just became a new mom, and she has this boyfriend. And so she was at the Usher show and got caught up like plenty of women do. Usher does his little spiel that I think he's been doing forever. Like, I don't think that Usher just started going out into the crowd and like serenading and dancing with women, right? I think this has been a part of like his show forever. But this show has a lot of publicity. So anyway, she was there with her girls, had on a very nice outfit, very nice dress. It was sheer. And them cheeks was cheeking, child. The cheeks were out. And so, her boyfriend, baby daddy, caught wind of it because it was all over the internet, all over the socials, and, started mommy and body shaming her on the internet. Yeah. And so a lot of people now have been just talking about his response and just like what it's like to be a new mom and, that whole process with trying to get your old self back, trying to get your body back, starting to feel like yourself again. Yeah. And whether or not he was, not wrong for feeling the way that he felt, but obviously wrong for bringing it to the internet. Yeah. Now, I have not seen her on him on her page since then.
All I know is she's dropped music.
She has. She's dropped all kind of like innuendos, child, but I haven't seen him. So I just want to talk about it. Like, what are your thoughts on that whole conversation? What are your thoughts on his response? And what are your thoughts on just like her being able to feel comfortable enough and beautiful enough to even wear that, to put that on after having a baby? I think is such a great thing because after you have a baby, I mean, we all know, like, that's a struggle, child, especially after your first one. Like, ugh.
You don't know up from down, left from right.
Exactly. So just wanted to talk about that and get your thoughts on that whole situation.
I have a lot of thoughts. The way my social anxiety is set up and the high levels of social regret that I tend to experience, I probably would have been I would have been like, well,
excuse me, child. I got this cough. It's been lingering. My bad. Sorry.
You're fine. Go ahead. I would have been like, well, damn, did I do too much? Did I do too much? Just in general, going up on stage with Usher. Yeah. Like, baby daddy, newborn, regardless. Yeah. I would have had all those questions. Yeah. Buyer's remorse. But as far as her being a new mother, her feeling empowered, her feeling like she can, and this wasn't the first time that she really stepped out publicly, because she's done stuff with like Hollywood Unlocked and stuff like that. But this was a major public appearance.
Yeah.
She got caught up, girl. Literally caught up, as Usher would say.
It's easy to do.
As it's easy to do, but is her getting caught up does it warrant the commentary from the man who fathered her son?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I think that was riddled in insecurity. I think it's riddled in,
Yeah.
I'm going to say what I'm going to say. He is not as successful as she is. So I think that breeds a high level of insecurity in a man. And so he sees her out there. It's easy to say you should be a certain way because you're a mother or because you're somebody's girlfriend. But, you can change the circumstances around the status.
Yeah.
You could make her a fiance if you wanted
right.
to.
You could make her a wife
if you want to be traditional. So let's not put a title on the status of relationships that she's in. Yes, she's a mother, and I know that she wears that very proudly.
Right.
But I think a lot of the commentary was riddled in insecurity.
Yeah. It seems to be two men in this world, right? Like the men that are okay with it, and then the men that are obviously not okay with it. I also believe that she got caught up. But at the same time, why not? Like Usher's a legend.
YOLO.
Obviously, you're in the midst of this wonderful concert. It's amazing. It's fun. He's doing his little thing. He has a woman. I think he has a wife, actually, a fiance or a wife. Like he's obviously taken. So nothing was going to transpire from that little dance that they had, which was fine. Like she didn't put her butt on him. She didn't. It wasn't anything inappropriate. I know me. I was like, look, babe, because if
Usher was on the other foot.
I was like, babe, if Usher come in, he take my hand and won't dance. You all right with that?
And your partner would be A-okay.
Exactly.
Because he's of the genre, and he's the type of guy that's just like, very comfortable and confident in himself.
Exactly. But he's also very comfortable and confident in me, because there's only so far I am going to go.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like I could be fangirl out, which I was, but you ain't gonna know that. Like,
but what was your Winnie Harlow that shit real quick? Hop on your man's lap.
I wasn't gonna do that either. That's extra. Right. Like, I'm not gonna even do all that. Like, nothing's wrong with a little two-step at the end of the day, but you have to know the person that you're with too. That's KeKe's personality. Yeah. Like, KeKe has a very large personality.
Yeah.
That's her. Like, nothing that she did actually surprised me. Like, that was just so on brand and in line with who she is as an entertainer, as a person. So, but I do think that I agree he was insecure. I think that, it got the best of him. It definitely got the best of him. For him to put it on the internet, child, like
I wonder if he even talked to her before he put it on the internet.
Probably did. And she was just like, go to hell.
Probably found out when we all did. Go to hell expeditiously.
He probably found out. He said something. She was just like, get out my face. And then he took it to the internet, child, because he didn't have no other outlet. Because KeKe wasn't trying to hear that.
No, and the way KeKe set up, she probably, those were her exact words. Oh, you got me all beeped up.
All the way
beeped up.
All the way. But she looked good. She looked good, KeKe. Body is right. Body is on point.
Yes.
You want to go out, have your fun.
Yeah.
Wear what you want to wear. Do what you want to do. She should be able to do that without feeling shame.
Exactly. And you just created a whole nother human. Like, what are we talking about?
And she looks good.
And you look good.
She looks good.
You look good, and you're a talent, and you're charismatic, and you're smart, and you're beautiful. Like who? What's his name?
Do you, boo?
What's his name?
Do you?
I don't know his name. Like, literally,
I don't know
his name.
Oh, you asking me? I don't know his name either.
I don't know him. Who this man?
He related to some actor.
Probably.
I don't even know that man's name.
But is he riding off the coattails of somebody he's related to, or does he have his own talent?
Well, I'm sure he has something going. I don't know.
That's
but
my hope.
They were at a party. This is how they met, their origin story. They were at a party, and he was with his brother, who is the actor. He was on Insecure, the tall, light-skinned one.
Okay.
So, and KeKe was talking to the brother and was just like, oh, who you with? So apparently she was interested in him first.
Okay.
And sparked the conversation.
And
this is what she said out of the words of her own mouth. But he's one of those people who looks good but doesn't know it. So very insecure. Because she was like, she walked up to him and tried to like flirt with him. He was just like, just
self-deprecating.
Exactly. Just doesn't know like his own, I don't know, strength or power, doesn't know how good he looks, or doesn't have that confidence.
The irony of it all.
Yeah, the irony of it all.
The insecurity of it
Insecurity, yeah.
Well, listen, KeKe, I know you got it under control. I'm not worried. Because as I know, for you and your child, y'all are going to be just fine. You got that Nickelodeon money.
Me and my baby, we going to be all right.
Yes, she got that Nickelodeon money, and that Nickelodeon money is long.
She got that Achille and the B.
She got that Disney money. Right?
Right?
she got her money long.
Wait, all of the freaking memes that I saw online had me dying. Ugh, y'all so funny. Why y'all so funny?
The internets are funny.
The internets are so funny. I cannot.
The way they introduced me to levels of humor that I didn't even know. I was like tickled by.
Done. Completely done. Like, done. It was the level of skits. How y'all come up with that? And then so fast.
Fast.
How y'all do that?
Y'all have too much time on your hands. God. But I'm here for it.
I love it. It keeps me up all night. All night, literally. On TikTok in the bed. Girl, it's a mess.
Okay. So switching gears just a little bit, wanted to chat a little bit about Carlee Russell.
Oh, my God.
Who was the missing Alabama woman who saw a toddler who's maybe 3 to 4 years old in a diaper walking along the interstate in Alabama, and who was missing for 48 hours.
Yeah.
Like gone. And I don't want to say there was a manhunt that ensued to try and find her the way that they look for white women.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, because Miss Tina Lawson was really, and her name is escaping me, the other one. But Miss Tina Lawson.
And the activist?
Tamika.
Yeah,
yes.
Dee Mallory?
Yes. Mm-hmm. She was like, there's a lot of technology that's used because we know that those first 48 hours are critical. And there's a lot of technology that gets used to try and help onto some type of scent, right? Or some type of, it helps them with the pursuit of trying to close the case. And those stops were not pulled out. Those levers were not pulled. But by the grace of God, and thankfully, Miss Carliee Russell returned home on Saturday around 10:45 to her parents' house on foot.
Middle of the night.
In the middle of, 10:45, almost.
Middle of the night.
But there's a lot that doesn't make sense.
A lot
that doesn't make sense. Why was the baby walking on the interstate in a diaper?
Was there a baby?
They say if there was a baby, the baby was bait. The baby was bait to get somebody out of their car. She had just gotten off from work, went to go get some food, went to go and was driving home and saw the baby on the side of the road and did what most women would do. Most human beings with a heart that beats would do.
Yeah.
Go and make sure that this child is okay because it's nighttime. And I would get out of the car. I would.
You would?
If I saw a baby walking on the side of the street, I absolutely would get out of the car. Would you?
I don't know. Now, knowing what I know now, child.
But if you knew what you knew then, would you get out of the car? If you saw a 4-year-old walking in a diaper on the side of the highway,
girl,
in the dark of night.
I don't know. I can't confirm nor deny what I would do, child. I would call somebody.
Listen.
But I wouldn't be out of the car at like 9:30 at night being like, where are your parents?
I don't know.
Because you got to think, I think all scenarios through. My anxiety. Like somebody, I'm like, that person could be upset. Like their mom could be behind them and see me, then get mad. Like I'm trying to take their child.
Oh, this is really
so it's dumb done, yeah. So I could, So yeah, I would be thinking all the scenarios too. But if I happen to see it, I would definitely call 911.
Yeah. Would you keep driving or would you pull over?
Probably keep driving.
No judgment. And the only reason why I say no judgment is because you know the story. Around May of last year, I was driving home from a location here and was going about 60, 65 miles an hour, driving and got rear-ended.
Yeah.
In an active, like, I wasn't stopped, but I got rear-ended.
Like driving on the highway and got rear-ended. Yeah.
And it was late. And there was a huge part of me that wanted to like stop, get out of the car to see what the hell was going on, check the damage. But then I realized I was in a all-white bodycon dress. No. And it's late. You're going to keep driving.
Yeah.
Because... Jesus, like I didn't know what it was. Like I didn't see a car flipped over. I saw nothing.
Yeah.
I saw nothing. So instincts were like, stop, no, go.
Yeah.
And I drove all the way home and inspected the damage in my garage.
Yeah.
But
I think instincts play a big part in that too. And so you can't just say, yes, I'll do something or no, I won't do something. I mean, a baby walking along the highway at 9:00 at night in a diaper is odd because where did this baby come from?
I know.
And there's no car in sight.
I know.
Nothing inside. Like how odd is that? I think spidey senses would be
fully activated.
On high alert.
My like mama bear would be like so activated because I have a friend whose son he runs. He's a runner.
On the interstate?
He's a runner. Like
on the interstate?
And they found him in the parking lot of the apartment complex that they live in.
That's an apartment complex, child. This is on the interstate.
I know, but like he's a runner. He's a runner. So, like, you just don't know.
Yeah. I'm a mama bear, too, but...
you are,
some
right?
Things make sense, some things don't.
That doesn't make sense. And that's why I probably would be like, the hell? Okay.
So you would be missing like Carlee.
We thank God for your safe return.
We do.
But yes, I would be.
Yeah.
I would be. I'd be on the ATV going in the opposite direction of traffic. Like, well,
you would.
That's what I
would be
get.
on the news, be like, my friend, she was a good person.
I know her intentions.
All she wanted to do was help.
Right. She a good Samaritan.
I know she's a good. That's a mama bear for you, girl. Bye. Being a good mama bear is being there for your kids, child.
Right.
But charity starts at home. But anyway. We're happy Carlee is home.
We're happy she's home. But here's the thing. Her family's not talking. They're like, respect our privacy because we don't know what the hell happened. So respect our privacy at this point because we need to.
See, I don't like that. I'm of the people who are like, if you ask me for thoughts and prayers, I want to know what happened. Like, that's me. I want to know. And it was nothing for her mom to get on TV, crying,
of course,
pleading, asking everybody to use their resources, whether it be social media, influence in the news stations, whatever the case may be, your prayers, your prayer warrior capital, whatever the case may be. Like, they were asking for that.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden it's just like closed door. Generic statement. And I don't want to be judgy because I feel like, you know, in that situation, you just don't know what you will do. But I think that I feel like you couldn't keep the same energy without disclosing
too much.
What actually, exactly,
without compromising the case.
Come back in front of the cameras again. Thank you. Carlee is home. She's upset. She's visibly shooken up. You know, we want a few days to just kind of process and see what's going on with her. But we appreciate everybody's efforts. We appreciate everything.
We'll release
Keep that same energy. Don't send out a freaking Facebook post to all these people when you've just been crying on camera, asking everybody to do whatever they could to help you. You know what I mean? I just don't think that that's fair.
No, I don't, because we're invested.
Exactly. Exactly. Now everybody's sitting waiting, twiddling their thumbs.
Yes. This to me is like the way I was invested with Breonna Taylor.
Yeah.
The way I was in, and I know the circumstances are different, but two Black women, right?
Yeah.
Who had very difficult circumstances, in one case tragic circumstances happen. I'm invested, and I'm really invested because 9 times out of 10 when we go missing, we don't come back.
Yeah.
And she's back. So like I want to understand, what is that, like, what do I need to be mindful of? Like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? Because I think a lot of people are just like, how do we make sure that this doesn't happen to our daughters or to our nieces or to our granddaughters?
Yeah.
And
I was looking online, and I know people are like, well, we need to know what this person looks like. We need to know who to be on the lookout for. We need to know like this. And somebody said it was the mom who helped them kind of like put together their search. Her daughter was unfortunately taken and lost her life. But she was just like, we really don't need to know that. We just need to know that there are predators out there. Like, it's just not safe. You have to always be on alert. You have to always be on the lookout. Unfortunately, now, like, it's not even safe to stop and render aid to a child that you see that may be alone. Right. So we have to always just be aware of our surroundings, because there are bad people out there who want to do bad things. And if somebody wants you, spots you, there's nothing that can stop that. You just have to be vigilant and protect yourself, and just always be aware of your surroundings and make smart decisions. And I respect that. And so I'm not looking for them to tell me the description or what this person looks like or how to keep myself safe, but it's just like, again, keep that same energy. I think also if they would come out and if they would have come out on camera, just like they were doing that initially, and said, hey, again, we have her, she's safe, she's shooken up, wanting to spend some time, I think that would have helped to reduce some of the conspiracy theories that we are now seeing online. And they would have, potentially have kept a lot more support than I feel like they have right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just an unfortunate situation. They're going after everybody.
They're going after her boyfriend. They're going after everybody. Her parents.
Like everybody.
Everyone.
They're going after everybody.
Nobody's safe. So
I am glad she's home, whatever the case may be. Whether she was taken and released, or she fought her way through it, or she had a mental breakdown. Girl, look, all I remember is it happens. Remember we were riding on the interstate, child, and y'all had given me something to chew on. And I thought the highway was coming down on me.
She thought the highway was...
I thought it was floating.
So the overpass was about to be an underpass.
I thought the overpass was floating. And she was just like, she saw me. I was tripping out. I'm driving. I'm on 59 and I'm driving. Yeah. And I'm literally fixated because whatever they had given me to chew on, child, had my mind. Yeah. And I thought the interstate was literally floating and the cars were floating. And I'm just like looking, and thank God she noticed what was going on. She was just like, Kelly, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. So you just don't know. Like I have.
It was the, ooh.
I was like, ooh. That's all I said was, ooh.
That moment will go down in history.
That will go down in history. Like, literally, all I had to say was, ooh, and she saw me, and I'm like looking at the thing, and just the highway float. It was just floating. And she was just like, Kelly, it's okay.
It's okay.
She had to talk me down, but I just can't imagine being by myself and like having a mental episode where something happens. And I don't have anybody to talk me down from that. And so that happens too. And I have empathy for that as well. So whatever the case may be with Carlee, I'm still glad that she's home and she's okay and she's safe, because again, I couldn't imagine like what her parents must have felt, regardless of if she was taken or not. Having a child that's missing, that you can't lay your eyes on, talk to, you don't know where they're at. I mean, that's a horror and a fear that I don't think any parent wants to feel.
Yeah. Regardless of the age. Yeah. She's grown.
Regardless of the age, child.
Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's Carlee. Did you have anything else?
What was the other one? I did have another one.
We went to the Galleria for dinner.
For what?
We went to the Galleria for dinner.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to remind you.
Okay, yes, you are. Okay, so there is another video that's circling around the internet, and it's relevant because we talk about it a lot. Right. And so it's this group of friends who went out for their friend's birthday, and they apparently went to a really nice restaurant in Atlanta. I think they are located at, and the bill came out to $4,600. I don't know.
It was a large party.
I didn't see that many people, but $4,600. I don't think I've ever seen a bill $4,600.
How are we not like
$4,600?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions.
That's a lot of questions. Anyway, I don't know where they went, child. I mean, even at the most
exclusive, high-end restaurant.
I don't even think they were there. Like, what did they spend? Anyway. So these friends are arguing. A couple of the guys are upset because they were expected to split the bill in all the ways, right? Half, even in all of the ways throughout whoever was there, right? Amongst whoever was there.
There were 10 people. Everybody had a $460 bill.
Exactly. So they were saying, no, we're not doing that because we really didn't eat like that. Like, we don't feel like we should have to split the bill like in a tenth because we didn't eat as much as everybody else ate. And so that sparked a whole debate online because you have some people on one side who says, you know, if you're all out as friends, we all split regardless of what a person has. We all just split the bill. That's understood. And then there are some other people who say, you know what? No, if I didn't eat $100 worth of food or whatever the case may be, I'm not going to spend the excess just so that people who came to eat, you know, can have a discounted bill. Yeah. And so I you know, I am of the person who believes that if you're out, you just split the bill. But that also, there is also an understanding that everybody is kind of ordering comparable things, right? Like everybody's having appetizers, everybody having drinks. Some people may have more drinks than the other. Fine, whatever the case. Some people may have an appetizer. Some people may not. But I am of the understanding that everybody's kind of going to get the same things. Now, there may be a couple of dollars off here and there based off of like a drink or an appetizer or a dessert.
We're not.
But it's not, it's not just, you know, it's not anything that's too imbalanced. Yeah. If that does become the case, I just don't know how I would feel about that. My principles might be out the window, Chuck.
I mean, $4,600.
$4,600.
I don't know if I can consume... Even if, let's say there's 10 people, I don't know if I can consume $460 worth of food. Yeah. Now, granted, birthday girl was there. Like,
it's my birthday.
It's her birthday. I'm a firm believer that, like, if you're doing a birthday dinner, you should not pay for your birthday meal. I am a firm believer of that. And I'm also a firm believer if I say, yeah, I'm going to join you for your birthday dinner, that I'm going to, that the bill's going to, that, like, I'm going to cover that. That's going to be included in my cost, right? Now... Am I a split the bill down the line equally kind of person? Or am I a let me itemize, run out my calculator, add tax?
I'm not doing all that.
Carry the one.
Cannot.
I get embarrassed.
I can't do that.
I can't do that. I mean, you and I have been out enough where like, and like often enough where there are times where you eat more and I eat less. Right. Or you eat less and I drink more. But like at the end of the day, it all washes out. Like we had a whole conversation
all the time
this weekend about it. We're like, we ain't going.
I'm not nickel and diming you, child.
We're not doing that, right?
Like it all washes out. It all balances out. Yeah,
you know. So, I'm just one who says like, if I'm going to actually go and be in attendance for said dinner, I am going to order what I want, and you should order what you want. And then we should split the bill down the middle. Yeah. Now, if it's a date, it's a whole different story. Yeah. But if it's like a bunch of girlfriends going out, yeah, we're going to split it 3 ways, split it 4 ways, split it 2 ways. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm not going to order the foie gras, right? And like escargot, I'm not ordering the expensive, crazy stuff on the menu. But like I might order a $40 to $50 dish. Like, you know, I love the Chilean sea bass.
And I think it's about your friends too, because you all have to have similar tastes. Yeah. And so if you're inviting 10 people, then I would have to believe that it's just a random hodgepodge of people, and you're going to have some people who are more fancy, who like to spend a little bit more money on food, or people who look at this as an opportunity as, okay, we're about to split this bill, right? You know, 10 ways, and, you know, my bill may have been $600 by myself, now it's going to be $400. So you have to understand, like, who these people are that you are inviting to your event, and then also setting that expectation up front. So if there is an expectation, because the birthday girl was on camera yelling to the top of her lungs, it's my birthday.
Yeah, it looked a little staged, but I mean, I think it's spawning.
It happens.
Creating
it happens
the right
every day. So if, you know, have that conversation up front so there is no confusion when the bill comes.
But that's awkward.
I mean, but if you don't know the people that you're with,
then they shouldn't be at my birthday dinner.
Well, that's the whole point. Like that's the point. You know what I mean? And so if you are going to have people, random people that you don't know how they feel about splitting a bill when the bill comes, then you have to be able to have some kind of conversation up front, because what you don't want to be doing is screaming and howling in the middle of a very nice exclusive restaurant about who's going to pay for the bill, child.
Yeah, there was a lack of alignment there, and I think there are people who probably just showed up just to catch the IG moment, get the content, but not necessarily
celebrate the birthday girl.
To celebrate the birthday girl or expect to have to come up with this coin at the end of the night when the bill came. So I can only imagine what the waiter or the waitress was like. Like, y'all.
I can't.
That's
why, look, that's why I keep my circle, child. Like, I'd be like, there's only so many people that I can hang out with. Do things with. Like, it's sad to say. I think this may segue into your next one. But for me, if I am going to do that, I am going to do it with, like, the people that I know are solid and that can match my energy. Yeah. If you can't match my energy, then I can't. We could be cordial, but you're not about to come to my birthday dinner. We're not doing that.
You're hilarious. So this is like life imitating life right now, because I had a moment like that.
You did.
At one of my birthday dinners.
I'm glad you brought that up. Talking about transparency.
It's a new season. It's a new But yeah, I had a moment at my birthday dinner. We're not going to call out any names, but yeah, we had people who were, who ordered food and left. We had people who
secretly called the waiter to pay for their little bill. Oh, somebody didn't even pay for their bill?
Yeah, left. Yeah. Didn't even pay. People who were doing the math, carrying the one. Mortified.
I mean, I wasn't
even the word to describe how I felt. But
yeah. And I brought it to her. I was just like, well, me and my friend, my very good friend, who was solid, we were like, because we know the protocol, we were like, well, we're going to take ours and the birthday girls, obviously.
Thank you.
And we did. And I was just like, girl, I had to tell her, I said, Nicole, can't you? These people she had been friends with longer than she and I had been friends. Yeah. So that's why I said it's just like a protocol for me, that, I would have done whatever for your birthday dinner at that point in time. But it was just eye-opening for me that, like, people operated like that, because I was just like, me and my friends don't operate like that, child.
You and me both. And some of them,
have you seen that dinner was much smaller this year?
Much smaller this year. Much smaller. Some of those people I'm not in contact with, right? Because I'm just like, look, like, at the end of the day, that's not okay. Yeah. So yes, great segue into, speaking of dinners, right? There was a dinner that happened earlier in the month, and it was in the great state of Idaho, and it was a dinner full of industry people from the likes of Courtney Cox, Jennifer Aniston, Michael Scott, not of The Office, but of other shows. But at the end of the day, all these people were white. And they're very wealthy white people who gathered around a table. And this was like right before all of, the Screen Actors Guild actors went on strike. But like, they all gathered together for some very rich person's birthday celebration. And the internets are abuzz about it. They're abuzz about it because they're like, wait, we have the writers who have been on strike for months. We've been watching reruns for months because the writers are not willing to work because they don't feel like they're being paid enough. The actors that were at that table were about to be on strike. But in addition to that, it was the fact that there was no diversity, no representation as it relates to ethnic diversity, racial diversity that was present at the table. It was a very monolithic, very homogenous group of folks that were assembled around this incredibly long table. It looked like there were 30 people.
Like the Last Supper. It was like a long-ass table. Like, for real, though. Like, it did look.
So there was a lot of chatter just about how problematic that assembly of homogenous beings was. I mean, you had women there, you had men there, but again, like, no melanin. So there was just a lot of conversation about how that just seems very representative of elite America, right? That there's no room, no space, no invite extended to people of color who, for the most part, many of these people probably got their careers on account of, whether it was a writer, whether it was a stylist, whether it was a personal assistant, whether it was a chef or a personal trainer, a cameraman, right? So thought it'd be good to just chat about that a little bit because in the world that we're in from a work and corporate America standpoint, there were other conversations about that, right? Like, where's the diversity? Where's the representation? One of the memes was, this is great. Like it's a company that says like, we celebrate diversity, and they show the picture of everybody at that table. And there's like no one at the table that's diverse.
Right.
So wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah. I was torn between that one because I feel like, look, my birthday dinner is all monolithic, child. I just said that. Like, it's the same. You know what I mean? And so, excuse me, I don't want to, like, penalize anybody for like hanging out with their circle of people. Like, I get it. People just want to be with their friends. And if, your close friend circle doesn't have any diversity, I mean, that's just... It just is what it is. But I do think that it was extremely tone deaf in the current environment that we are in. Well, not we, but like the actors and all of the people that work in the film industry who are not being paid. And I didn't even have any understanding of this.
Right.
So it's just like, you could be a working actor and really not be making any money, child. Like, literally making $15,000 a year because obviously you don't get as many roles. When you do get the roles, you're not paid top tier for them, but you're considered acting.
An actor.
But you don't have any... Did I say acting? Yeah, an actor, like a real actor, like an acting actor.
You're not in a reoccurring role or on a sitcom,
right? But you're considered like an actor
by the Screen Actors Guild.
Yes, but you can't even afford to be in the Screen Actors Guild because it's $26,000. Is what I understand. You have to have like a salary of $26,000 to be included in the Screen Guild, and like a lot of these working actors don't even have that money. And so I didn't even realize what the structure looked like. Even Les Dog, the comedian, she was just like. She didn't make it until she was like 45. She was like, I just got to the point where like, now I'm rich.
Well, there's hope for all of us. Child.
But you know what I mean? So it's just like any career. Like, you have to work your way up. You have to continue to like grind and hustle. And I didn't look at the film industry like that. And I think that a lot of people who are, not having empathy for these people who are on strike don't really understand that. Like, I had to do my own research. Right. And so from that perspective, I do feel like the picture was really tone deaf. And then from a corporate America perspective, agree to some of the points that were being made online. Like, a lot of these companies have invested a lot of capital into diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. But at the executive level, at the table where the decisions are being made, that's what it looks like in corporate America. And so, in terms of fairness, inclusivity, inclusion, equity, having a seat at the table, I mean, it's just a stark reminder that people of color really don't have that as many strides as we have made. And, there's still so much more work to do to be in, the spaces where the real decisions are being made. And I think that even after the Supreme Court struck down the affirmative action in college admissions, I mean, it's just setting us backwards. You know what I mean? And then right after that, like 4 female executives at major corporations were let go from their positions. So it's just, I think the picture was extremely tone deaf, coming from those two perspectives that I just mentioned.
Yeah. And Kristen Bell's the one who like posted the picture. And
that's privilege too.
I mean, blonde hair, blue eyes.
The privilege of it all.
The audacity of privilege.
The audacity of privilege. Like, you just don't even have a clue, child.
No clue.
No clue.
And that's just like, there's so much work to be done. There's so much work to be done. And, I think we were a little hopeful with, in 2020 with a lot of the social unrest that we saw. But things got quiet. We had social unrest, and then we had COVID, and that kind of all happened at the same time, but things got quiet.
But you see how temporary that is.
Yeah.
Nothing is guaranteed.
Nothing is guaranteed.
Everyone should see how temporary rights for Black and brown people are. And so if you're not an active voter, I would strongly suggest and recommend that you get active, you register yourself, and you go vote, because don't do it. Keep seeing what happens. Well, keep seeing what happens. These people could roll back. Our rights are not guaranteed.
Right. And here's the thing. Like, the judges that are actually making the decisions to allow store owners who do not want to service gay clients or gay customers, or who are rolling back affirmative action, these people were appointed decades ago in some cases. Clarence Thomas, he's the one who led the entire charge around this affirmative action case. He was appointed by George H.W. Bush, Bush number 1. So the fact that, like, he's here in 2023 signing off on decisions, it really goes to show that, like, yes, get active, do what you can do. Vote when you have an opportunity to vote, or if you're able to vote, because your vote today could affect what's going on 20, 30 years from now.
That's
because
true.
This isn't just like, we got a Democrat in the White House, but he can't get any Supreme Court judge, circuit court district judge, because Trump and Bush got all of the conservatives when they were in office. So you absolutely have to pay attention to these.
It's a must.
To these, not just the federal elections, but your local elections.
And I will say, the people that have been behind the scenes, these PACs, these organizations, the people, evangelical groups, they have had an agenda. And I know people are just starting to hear about it, like 5, 6, 7 years with Trump or whatever. But these people have been pushing this agenda since the 60s.
They have been.
Since integration. That is when they all came together, school integration. That's when all of them came together and they said, okay, that's when, the whole civil rights movement was happening. They couldn't just come out and say, well, we don't want our schools to be integrated. So they had to band together and come up with another cause that was more socially acceptable to start to rally their base and to start to elect all of these officials who will help get and implement the things that they wanted to into a line, push their agenda. And this was from the 60s. These people have been organized and focused and working since the 60s. And now all that work and all that pushing that they've been doing is now coming to fruition because they have the majority on the Supreme Court. And so it's so important, to your point, to vote, exercise your right. These decisions that we are making now, the people that we elect now, are going to be affecting your children for the next 20, 30, 40 years. And so extremely important. And I don't like to get political on here, but it's just a scary time that we're living in.
It's a very scary time.
Yeah.
I mean, God forbid you need to have an abortion.
God forbid.
Find one of the 14 states where you can actually do that.
And do you have money? Right? Do you have the coin to travel?
Right. Do you have the coin to travel? And who wants to travel?
And who's going to come with you?
Who's going to come with you? Who wants to travel after that's happened, right? And then affirmative action, gone. As a
you have
business
to rely
owner,
on somebody wanting to do the right thing.
Exactly.
And who's to say that the people in power that don't look like us will want to do the right thing? That's hit or miss.
And bringing it full circle, look at Carlee Russell, who thought she was doing the right thing, trying to help a baby on the highway. And look what happened. So on that note, let's wrap it up.
Yep.
Great conversation. Appreciate the intellectual stimulation that we always offer one another. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for listening. If you want to tap in on the visual conversation, you can find us on YouTube, Champagne Wives Podcast. If you want to find us on Instagram, Champagne Wives Podcast. If you want to email us, champagnewives@gmail.com, TikTok, Champagne Wives Podcast. Follow, like, subscribe, all the things. And it was great to see you all again, back in the chairs.
All right, y'all. See y'all next week. Same time, same place. Bye.